I start to film myself doing house chores to overcome my laziness, so you guys on YouTube can monitor my work while I chat about random things. So today let's chat while I clean up my bed. What I have been doing to bring up my self-worth and essentially being treated differently. First, cut myself from toxic environment that brings me down. I grew up in a normal family. My parents were hardworking and quite successful. They gave me the best that they could. I was the first person of our big family to go to study in the US, and I'm probably earning the most amongst my sibling and cousins right now. I've been to 20 countries. Well, nothing impressive, but not too bad, right? Many people are saying I am fortunate. My standards must be so high. But no one knows I had such a low self-worth. Growing up, I was seen as a tanned girl, too tall, too skinny, like malnourished, not model skinny, flat nose, older looking than my age, too full lips, which all the men I've dated love. But at that time, no, it looked like a banana. Looking like a boy when I had a short hair. Basically, never got complimented. Oh, you're so pretty for so many years until adulthood. I'm just not traditionally good looking in my culture. I loved singing and dancing, and since kindergarten, when the teacher was picking some kids for the school performance, I was always anticipating, but never chosen. I told myself, well, no big deal, and acted so. I'm still one of the best students academically, but I didn't realize that the feeling of not being chosen has followed me many years after. Anyways, in my own family, I got nitpicking a lot too. When I got good grades, it's the of course attitude. Because our family is a well educated family for many generations. When I'm just behind someone, that's a huge problem. Making one mistake, do it all over again. I have to be perfect. Earning 50 million, but mom's friend's child earned 100 million. And I got the privilege to study abroad, so that's such a low income that I had. I always got the belief that I'm a loser in the family if I don't behave as expectation. Now I'm away from my family, and I think that's a big part how I can start reflect and transform without being under the old influence of my family. I know to some of you out there it's difficult. Maybe you're still a student. Maybe your income isn't enough to live independently. If so, you need to be super conscious when you're hearing things that are not aligned with who you want to become. Don't need to argue or fight about it. No matter what you say, they will just keep their own belief. We can just simply go to another room, go out somewhere to avoid hearing all that whenever possible, and try your best to be able to get out of that environment because in the long term it is really not good for you. Imagine you keep hearing again and again how not enough you are, how inferior you are, for like 20 years now, keep hearing it every day. And then like you think about it, how many positive affirmation, how many motivation speakers you have to hear to be able to like get over such a 20-year influence like that, right? So now, whenever I go home to visit, my relationship with my parents is great. We just get along very well. Of course, we're still not 100% happy ever after, but much better than when I was living with them. They now see me as a grown up, so they do listen to what I got to say more. Love doesn't need to always be beside you, sometimes distance is also good. Second, I stop sabotaging myself. I stop criticizing myself. You know, our brain tends to do that to mentally prepare for the worst. So we won't get too hurt when the same thing is spoken by somebody else, right? Because we already prepared. Cannot get even worse than that. Although, as you see, I've come to accept the fact that each one of us have our own life lesson, our own timeline, and our own strengths and weaknesses. So just focus on yourself. Not perfect, but knowing that you're becoming 1% or just 1.5% better than the previous day, or knowing that you are enough, even with your flaws, your imperfections. You are enough and you're worthy of love. So for me, when I first moved out of our house, so nobody like my parents is not besides me to criticize me or to say toxic things anymore. But you know, under such a long time influence, when nobody say it, it's me who's saying it. So I was the worst enemy of myself that's stopping me from transforming to my better self or to have a higher self-worth. It's constantly putting me down. Like there's always a voice in my head. I think it's from my mom's voice. But now mommy is not saying anything. It's me who's criticizing myself. Why are you doing that? You are such a stupid person. All of the things that I talk to myself. So stop doing that. And the third thing, learn to accept compliments, nice gestures, or nice gifts from other people without guilt or without feeling that you owe something to them. Like none of us was born uh, with that mentality. You see, the kid is born and it's just so naturally know how to receive, right? Everybody give it anything, just receive it naturally without feeling a burden. But why are we feeling such a way right now? I feel like if we keep receiving and not paying back, we are the bad person. We were trained by the society to be that way. I know giving is great, but it doesn't have to be you give because you feel you owe somebody. You give because you have so much love and you have so much that you just want to give it out to people to share the joy and the happiness with them. So I remember when I was in first grade, a boy gave me something. I think it was a candy, and then I was so happy. And one of my female friend, she was my best friend back in the day. She told me nobody gave you anything for free. I was so shocked with that statement, but that statement also come along with me many years later. Like my most recent relationship, after many years of learning about dating, finally I dated the wonderful man who treated me the best. not like giving me huge gifts or anything, but just much better than when my self-worth was even lower and I didn't know anything about dating. So I was really happy with him. We went out, he paid for the date. We just had great connections, talking, chatting. But then to I think the fourth date, I started feeling guilty. I felt like this is not nice of me to keep letting him pay for the date. So, like that feeling kept bothering me, even though I learned the theoretically I knew that the female's supposed to be receiving, right? But I couldn't do that. It was my subconscious, was my low self-worth. I didn't believe that I deserved such treatment. Anyways, just saying that try to practice to accept, to receive. It will be difficult, especially if you have low self-worth like me. Um, but over the time, just when receiving, just observe your body. Like, I feel uncomfortable. I feel not worth it, but it's okay. And then keep telling yourself, yes, I'm so happy and I'm receiving it because I deserve it. And be thankful to the person giving it. Don't feel bad about it. And eventually, unconsciously, you would think, okay, you're worth it. You will believe it. Third is set boundaries. Need to learn to say no. People pleasing is a trait of low self-worth. I learned that, and I also realized from the experience that we don't need to be liked by everybody. That just completely changed my life. If by saying our boundaries out, saying no when we mean no, and somebody hates us, they stop being with us, then they are just not meant to be with us. That applies to all friends or family, co-workers or life partner. It's okay to let them go. They are here just for their own benefit. So do we. I am the only person that will always be here with me throughout this lifetime. So I better prioritize this super best friend slash soulmate that is me. Sounds selfish and such big ego, right? We learn that we should treat others better than ourselves. Especially in Asian culture, the community or the family is more important. But in reality, when I started to act like that, like to putting myself first, at least like in my mind, I care about how I feel. Everyone else around me start paying respect to me. They listen to what I got to say, and they don't take me for granted. When I indeed help them or do something for them, they really appreciate. While before, I was just helping them all the time, like whenever they asked for help, I agreed, even though sometimes I didn't have time or I didn't feel like doing it, but I keep doing that just people pleasing, just to think that hopefully they will return me with their friendship and their love. But in reality, I didn't get that. I feel being taken advantage of, or they're just my friends to get something from me at that time. Because after I'm done helping them, then they're gone to somewhere more fun. And by doing the things I just mentioned above, I finally feel free. Like I can breathe now. I can just go out without makeup or trying to be perfect. Even wearing a disastrous outfit, that's okay. Well, I do feel uncomfortable sometimes because I'm so used to trying to be perfect all the time in front of others. It does feel uncomfortable, but I'm just like monitor my body while I'm feeling that way without reacting. It's just wonderful, like the first time it's hard, but eventually over time it becomes easier. And now I know, like, if I'm go out without makeup or with my worst self, and still people still come to me, I still make friends, and nobody treat me worse just because I don't have my full makeup on, not dressing up like a princess. Even though I love dressing like a princess, it's just who I am. But I don't feel the pressure to change myself to be somebody else just so others give me more love. Well, I think I'm not at the perfect stage of high self-worth yet, but I'm getting there. So just want to share with you guys. Yeah, that's all my yapping for today. Hope you all have a wonderful day or night. And see you guys in my next house chores. Subscribe. Bye bye. You see, my bag has emptied out a lot compared to the mess in the beginning of the video. Thank you for watching me and keeping me accountable. I'm gonna sleep right after, so it's not completely tidy up. But yeah, we're getting there tomorrow. See you.